What's up, everybody? Welcome back. CG has confirmed that we'll be getting a new capital ship here very soon. More than likely going to be a Separatist capital ship. We'll talk about that here in a moment, but first, I have to address something. You guys are probably wondering where the hell I have been. And pretty much what's going on is that within the last month, I was promoted to supervisor at work. My old supervisor has put a notice he is leaving, so I've been promoted to take his place, and I'm having to learn a bunch of new stuff to take over, some new responsibilities, and just a lot of training there. And also, at the same time, I'm having to train the new employee to take my place from where I'm getting promoted. So I'm pretty much getting home at like 8 o'clock every night. I'm dead tired, and I really just haven't had the energy to make videos lately. So I'm not gone, I've just been very busy with work. I'll eventually be getting back into this. It's still going to be a couple weeks before I'm able to get back into this because of the rhythm with having to learn the new stuff. So I will get that all figured out here very soon. So just please hold on until I get that stuff figured out. But you know, it's the weekend, and I saw this, and you know, I'm getting pretty excited about it, so I figured I might as well go ahead and cover this. So, in the last little bit, CG SB Crumb has put out a post talking about the future of fleets and what they're expecting with it, and they have teased in here that we'll be getting a new capital ship here very soon in the future to tie in with the Geonosis territory battle. They left some clues in there as well that make you think it's going to be for a certain general droid that we have. But let's just go ahead and talk about their future of fleet and what they're expecting with it here. And the first thing that popped up that really blew my mind was that we've had ships for 2.5 years. I did not realize ships have been out in this game for that long. In fact, I didn't even realize how long this game has been out and how long I've been playing this game. Pretty much been a day one player, and this kind of blew my mind just how long this mobile game that I've been playing it. But yeah, 2.5 years with fleets, and overall it's left a pretty lackluster impression on most people. You know, they talk about how ships have evolved. They've talked about how we're getting more ships, more fleets to fill things out. Talking about how many ships they've added in the last year. They've released Han's Millennium Falcon, the Emperor Shuttle, Ebon Hawk, Houndstooth, IG-2000, Xanadu Blood, Sith Fighter, the B-28 Bomber, Anakin's Starfighter, and Lando's Millennium Falcon. It's a pretty significant amount of ships that we've seen, though many of these, they are all pretty good for the most part. I mean, Houndstooth and Han's Millennium Falcon, that's two parts of your meta fleet right now. You have the Bomber, or you have Akbar with his capital ship. Anakin's ETA-2 Starfighter make Galactic Republic fleets really, really good. So the ships that have come out in the past year have been pretty significant for changing up how fleets are in the meta. With, you know, we had Galactic Republic meta for a while, and now it's just been Rebels with Han's Millennium Falcon. And then we get down to this, speaking of the future, can you tell us a little bit about what we can expect? And Crumb states here very clearly, the biggest thing right now is the need for additional capital ships. We've added only one ship since the launch of the feature, which is Thrawn's Chimera, and they provide a tremendous amount of strategic choice for players. With the upcoming Geonosis territory battle, we are going to release a new capital ship. I wish we could show more benevolence and tell you exactly what's coming, but negotiations are underway when we will share the news. So we pretty much know it's going to be a new capital ship, and they drop some clues in here. The first one being the this word benevolence, and this automatically, if anybody knows Grievous, you know that his mainstay ship, the one that everybody knows, is called the Malevolence. It's Grievous's ship. It's a huge, heavy cruiser. It's basically a capital ship. It's a very deadly ship. It has a lot of firepower on it. And yeah, pretty much this is what people are going to think of automatically when they see talking about benevolence within that forum post. So benevolence makes sense, and the other one is logically going to be Newt Gunray, and his ship's a little more interesting. It's called the saak'ak. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, but it's basically one of the big droid control ships. You guys will remember that from episode 1 where Anakin flew inside it and blew it up from the inside. So that is pretty much Newt Gunray's capital ship. It's a very interesting one. I don't really look at it and say, oh yeah, that's a capital ship, but it is classified as a capital ship. So if we were going to get a capital ship, it's more than likely going to be Grievous or Newt Gunray here within the very near future. So I do think that obviously Separatist makes sense here because we have a pretty significant number of Separatist ships anyways. We have the 3 Geonosians, and this has been kind of clamoring for a while. People have been asking, like, you know, we get the rework with Newt Gunray. General Grievous got his rework about, what, half a year ago now, I think? Maybe longer than that. Obviously, one of them getting a capital ship with the reworks really helps make sense here, and since we're going to be fighting Darkseid first in the Geonosis territory battle anyways, it makes sense to bring out some kind of Separatist capital ship that makes them a lot deadlier. And, you know, they go to talk on a little bit more about how everyone's running Houndstooth, Millennium Falcon, and the Akbar capital ship, and that's pretty much the meta right now, and it's put a stranglehold on everything. They've had their time to shine. Now we're working towards additional competitive fleets into the game. So I do expect that this new ship, whether it's Malevolence or new Gunray ship, I do think that this is going to be shaking up the meta. So hopefully this is going to be a rock, paper, scissors thing, and they talk about that here. How we diversify ships, how to bring new and interesting gameplay mechanics to players, and how we carve out unique identities for ships is something that is always on our minds. I think the real goal is to try to create a vibrant meta that has multiple bands of power and that are interesting enough strategic decisions to bring into Grand Arena. Right now, the question is, do you bring the hammer, which is Millennium Falcon, or do you leave it on the bench, as in, do you leave it for defense? We want to bring that kind of strategic depth to fleet combat the Space Admiral could appreciate. So they're gonna try to expand it out a little bit more, which is great because as it stands right now, ships are very, very boring. If it wasn't for the Zeta mats and the fleet shipments, I highly doubt many people would really care about it. And even then, people are, you know, with the Han Millennium Falcon stranglehold on the meta, it's just gotten kind of boring. And now that everybody's had it because the events come back twice, it's just Millennium Falcons all over the place, and it's just not fun. It gets old really quickly. So speaking of interesting new ship gameplay mechanics, is there anything you can tell us right now? They don't have anything specific that they're going to announce today more than what we recently covered in the Q&A. They've been exploring new ideas, prototyping behind the scenes since Ships 2.0 was released. Still trying to figure out what the next big thing is for ships, which ties into ship raids, which is the next big question here. How likely do you think it is that we'll see a raid that includes ships or an entirely ship raid? CG Top Hat had talked about this in the dev Q&A. They're absolutely exploring some kind of raid with ship combat in it. And, you know, one of the big things that people have talked about is some kind of battle for Endor, where you have a battle with fleets up in space, where you're fighting against the Star Destroyers, and then you have to blow up the Death Star too. And then you go to like Endor, where you have to disable the shield generator. And that's been like the prototype that people have been talking about for a while, is like a Battle of Endor, because it has a lot of space and ground combat. So that would work great. Something like the Battle of Coruscant would also be pretty cool. We have a big focus on Clone Wars right now, so you're fighting on the ground against Separatists trying to protect Chancellor Palpatine. At the same time, you're flying up into space with like Anakin and General Kenobi, Galactic Republic fleet, or any kind of fleet, trying to take on General Grievous's capital ship. And yeah, I mean, something like that would be pretty cool. There's a lot of battles in the Star Wars universe that take place both on the ground and in the air or in space. So there is a lot of battles they could pull from here to give some kind of raid. And honestly, I would love that. Any kind of raid that combines things and makes ships a little more fun. I mean, I love raids, so anything that allows me to bring out my roster of ships, I think that is something that's going to be great here. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to do with raids, and hopefully we'll get something with that here soon, because I love raids and I'm getting really tired of the Sith raid. But let's go back to the Separatist capital ship and talking about that. And when you go into it, it's going to make sense that if this is Separatist capital ship, you're going to use Galactic Republic fleet to unlock the character and the ship. Sorry, just the ship. So obviously we have a lot of Galactic Republic characters or ships already. We have 7 of them total, plus the Endurance from Mace Windu. That makes for a very solid Galactic Republic fleet, but as it stands right now, that is a full fleet. You have the 3 up front plus the 4 reinforcements. no need to bring in new ships, but I don't see CG leaving it alone at that. What they'll probably do is give us some kind of new ship, and we should have gotten a hint from this already because the January login is going to be Five's ship, the Umbaran Starfighter. So this is going to be the login character for June. So that was a clue that we'll be seeing something with Five's and his ship being used somewhere, like B2 was a login for using him in the Padme event. So I would expect to probably see some kind of new Galactic Republic ships here very soon. I mean, at this point, we're all really guessing that clones are going to get some kind of rework. We're probably going to get new clones. There's many clones out there that have ships as well. Oddball is the one that comes to mind right away. So I think we're going to see more Galactic Republic characters that have corresponding ships. And as it stands right now, this fleet right here, it's very solid. Fives is up front with Rex, and then you throw in something like Jedi Consular Starfighter, and Anakin comes in as a great reinforcement, same with Ahsoka. Clone Sergeant is a super durable tank if you have his reinforcement upgraded, because as long as he has protection up, he has taunting, and yeah, he's a great clone, or he's a great Galactic Republic tank, so you do want to call him in with reinforcements for that. So overall, the Galactic Republic fleet as a whole right now is very durable, but I would expect this event to be something that's super hard, that we have a new ship or two that's going to help trivialize it, much like we had with the Padme event. With the Separatist faction, we already had several characters, but once you brought the droids in and made it super easy, I would expect to see something very much like that as well. So let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we're going to see Malevolence? Do you guys think we're going to see new Gunray's capital ship? Do you guys think it's going to be someone completely different? And do you expect them to bring in more Galactic Republic characters and ships here? Make this some kind of super hard event? What do you guys think they're going to do with this? Let me know down in the comments. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Apologies again for not putting out a lot of videos lately. I promise I'll be back to it here very soon once I can get everything figured out with work. So please stick around for that. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you guys later.